Yes, yes, yes. It's your boy Manny dropping another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about where would they go? Strikers edition. Right now, as we speak, we're calling the transfer season now. Transfer window has opened since yesterday. So there's going to be a lot of interesting new transfers, surprising and not surprising transfers, transfers we see coming, transfer we don't see coming. A lot of things going to happen throughout the summer. Obviously, transfer window, anything going to happen. Some transfer we can predict that we know from long ago, some we didn't see coming. So in this video, I'm going to talk about five strikers that are currently, the names are out there. And also I'm going to put do honorable mention of few strikers I've also see leaving based on different circumstances and situations. So I'm going to do the strikers edition. I will also do a wingers edition later on in the future. So anyway, so this is going to choose five of my chosen, and also I'm going to do honorable mentions at the end. So this is where would they go? Strikers edition. This is what I think based on certain things. If you add two or two together, what I think this club will definitely get this player and all the things. So anyway, enjoy. So number one, Benjamin Sisko or Cisco. I want to get this one out of the way because he was too obvious. Obviously, he's a young striker, talented, very tall. He's very raw too, but he does have a high ceiling. Currently playing for Red Bull Leipzig in Bundesliga. He's currently, his name is out there. A lot of top clubs across Europe are interested in him, especially in Premier League, Arsenal. So his name is all over. His name has been with Arsenal for since last season. They didn't want to get him out, or maybe he didn't want to go last season because he said he wasn't ready. He want to stay 1 year, one more year in the Bundesliga to get more season, more experience. So now Solly done that. Now Solly wants to move into a new challenge. So this is his profile. He's a striker. He's 22 years old. He's a Slovenia national. He has 45 appearances, 21 goals, and 6 goals in no competition. 13 of those goals are based in the Bundesliga, and its value is 70 million pounds. That's just pounds, not euros. Euros would be like maybe 80, 90 million euros. I know Leipzig want like close to 90 to 100 million euros. I don't think they're gonna get that. I don't think they're gonna get that kind of money, to be honest. Maybe between 80 and 90 they will get euros. So if Arsenal want, let's say, I mean the Cisco, um, or any club that wants this kind of player, they need to break the bank basically to get this player because obviously he's gonna be in the band. The striker market ain't that good, ain't that good. Ain't that bad either, but it ain't that good. Like there's not too many strikers out there that currently set the fire of like they have like clubs to have any options. So this is why it's kind of limited. So that's why I chose these five players that I know is going to leave, and based on the kind of players they are, and they're going to be in a huge demand, and he's one of them. I've seen his videos, seen his highlights. He's okay. He's a good player. He can strike. He got a good ball striking. He can skill. He can finish, but there's few things that needs to work on. And I know he's very, very skinny, and Premier League is a very physical league, so he needs to buckle up, bulk up a bit. And also one or two things he needs to work. It's very raw, but he does have a potential. So my destination, which is not surprise to everyone, would be Arsenal. Arsenal is that club that need that kind of striker. Obviously, Arteta likes tall players. He definitely wants a tall striker. So yeah, I think Cisco or Cisco. I don't know how to call it. Cisco. Let me know what how is he pronounced it in the comments. But I think it's Cisco, I think, yeah, Cisco. So yeah, I think Arteta want that kind of strike. He's been chasing him for over a year. So this is his chance now to get the striker. It's gonna cost a lot of money, obviously, it's not gonna come cheap. But I think this guy will fit Arsenal, will fit the type of striker that Arteta needs, and will he deliver for Arsenal? He could, he can, because Mourinho can score nine goals, almost got double digits, and he's not even a striker. Havertz got double digits the season before, and he was onto that this season just finished until the injury happened. So if those two can get double digits or one of them can get double digits and one almost got double digits. There's no way in hell that this guy can't get it. This guy can get it, or even plus. So the question is, can he break the 20 goals barrier? Because when I check his stats, is the highest he got in Bundesliga was 16 goals. So he's capable of scoring 15 goals. Can he score more than that? Because obviously strikers, we need someone that can score at least 20 plus goals. Newcastle got gunman, Man City got gunman. Um, yeah, as for Cetra. So those are the kind of strikers that Arsenal need. I think he's capable, but time will tell. But my destination will be Arsenal, and I feel Arsenal are the only ones who are going very heavily for to get this striker. So I do see him coming to Arsenal this summer. Now, number one is done. Let's move on to number two. Victor Osimhen. Osimhen, one of my favorite strikers today, and I definitely believe he should Arsenal should be going for him. But unfortunately, I think because of wage demands, they kind of put off a lot of clubs. But yeah, Victor Osimhen is one of my favorite strikers in the world right now. Obviously, the talent speaks itself. He has done a lot of things all over Europe and also in Africa. He's definitely gonna be one of the players to look out for in the transfer market this summer. So this is profile. Yeah, his origin club is Napoli. The story of Napoli, Conte especially, and the owners of Napoli, they want him in their team for the season just gone. So he was on loan to Galatasaray. He could have gone to Chelsea, but things didn't work out at last minute. So he went to Galatasaray at the end, and he has done very well. If you look at the stats, 41 appearances, 37 goals, 8 in all, and 86 in all competitions. So that's very, very good. So yeah, he was a top goal scorer in Turkey, so he has proven himself again. I think every time Osimhen goes to another club, he always does well in the debut season. Um, like when he went from, when he started in Germany in Wenders Brenham, things didn't work out. Obviously, he went to Belgium. He did very well. Then one season, then went to Lille, destroyed it, did well. Went to Napoli, did well, okay. Then the years goes by, started improving and won them the Serie A. And then after that, for some reason, it just went down the hill. I don't know why Napoli didn't want to give him a chance with him and Lukaku. I feel that would be one of the deadliest strikers partnership in Europe, but it's what it is. He went to Galatasaray, he won all the trophies in Turkey. So yeah, now he has proven to everyone that he is that guy, he's that dude. And yeah, he should be a hot commodity for all top clubs across Europe, and especially in the Premier League. I'm surprised the Premier League clubs are not, there's no links to any Premier League clubs are linking to Osimhen at all. And last season was Arsenal, Chelsea, especially. But now those two are like, they don't want to have anything to deal with Osimhen. Is it because of his outside or character, or is it money demand? I think it's the money, but still, even though it's the money, it's still worth that penny, in my opinion. He's that guy. He's the all rounder striker that every top club needs. He can do it all. He's an all rounder. He can hold up play, skill, finish. He can do everything, but for some reason, Premier League clubs don't want to go for him. Obviously, clubs across Europe, they're not even touching him either. So, well, his value is 40 million, which is still good for his that kind of player he is. He's currently 26 years old, so still good. He's still good. So he's still got a lot of years ahead of him. So the destination I think Osimhen will go this summer will be Saudi Arabia or PSG. Obviously, we've been talking about Saudi Arabia since last season for Osimhen. He could have gone, but he said no. He chose not to. He wants to stay in Europe, and rightly so. He made that right decision. He went to Galatasaray, which are on the in their own way one of the biggest club in Europe. So they are the biggest in Turkey. So in their own way, so he went there and did business. But now that season's over, he's not going to stay there forever. He wants a new challenge. This is where things get a little bit sticky for him because obviously Saudi Arabia clubs like Al Hilal or Al Ahly, they're the ones who are more likely want to get him um since last season, and now this season they still want to try get him. I think he more likely go to Saudi Arabia because if no Premier League clubs are coming for him, he might as well just take the money and just enjoy life in Saudi Arabia. Or maybe PSG will be like, you know what? We might take our chances with you. I said in my video in the PSG video that they need a top striker if they want to continue the dominance in Europe. They would definitely continue the dominance in Liga. I'm not worried about that. It's the Champions League. They just won the Champions League. They need a top nine. They need a striker that can score goals. Osimhen is in the market. Napoli don't want him. So if I was PSG, I would consider, you know, making inquiries about Osimhen's surface. It's not going to be a lot of money like last season or last year. So it'll be a little bit less than it was 1 year ago. So if I was PSG, I would consider doing that. Yes, he has played for Lille in Ligue 1 before. And I know he was like, I don't want to play in Liga no more because I already done it. But this is PSG, so if he wants to stay in Europe and the big club like PSG who just won the Champions League, who wants to continue that dominance in Europe, I think Osimhen should consider going to PSG, and I think PSG should consider, try sign Osimhen. He is in the market, and Napoli do want to get rid of him. So I do see this as a potential perfect marriage. But if not, then it's going to be Saudi Arabia. All right, so the second player is done. I'm gonna move on to number three. Third player is gonna be Hugo Ikekeka. Hope I got that right, but if not, I do apologize. So I'm gonna call him Hugo. The tall, skinny fella from Eintracht Frankfurt in Bundesliga. I really like the guy. He's very tall. Boy, he's very skillful, very flair. And yeah, he can finish as well. So he's definitely on the market, one of the hottest prospects in Europe right now. So yeah, he's in the market. So this is his profile. So he's currently 22 years old, French national. Stats is 48 appearances, 22 goals, and 12 assists in all competitions. 15 of those goals come from Bundesliga. So yeah, he's definitely up there. His value currently is 70 million. I know Frankfurt will want a little bit more than that because the demand is going to be there. Because as I said before, there's not too many strikers out there that are very good. That's going to cost a lot. So obviously, Frankfurt will be like, look, the demand for strikers, the supply for strikers is a little bit low, but the demand is there. So obviously, they're going to give it to the highest bidder. But his value is 70 million pounds. So he's definitely a very good striker. He's definitely one to look out for this summer. There's a lot of clubs in the Premier League that link to him: Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, etc. Um, things didn't work out for him, and he's the way he rises up to the top is very interesting because he was at PSG. For some reason, things didn't work out at PSG at all. I remember this guy was going to come to Newcastle until PSG swapped, and then when the PSG things didn't work out. Fortunately, he went to Germany, Frankfurt on loan, did okay. They bought him, and as you know, they're going to make a profit. So he's definitely one of the best. Is very very tall. His link up play is very good. He got all the tools to be one of the best. I think he's still a little bit raw. Um, he's a little bit too skinny for my liking at times. I feel if he wants to come to the Premier League, he does need to build up a bit. Because I know the defender will be pushing him around, but obviously he can hold his own. So yeah, he's definitely one for the books. So the destination where I think he's gonna go to Chelsea. Now, in the moment of time, is Chelsea and Liverpool being linked to him, and people may think Liverpool will get him. Yeah, they might break the bank potentially to get the guy. But hear me out. This is Casado 2.0. Remember, a few seasons ago, Casado was going to go to Liverpool. They was going to break the bank or break the British transfer record to get Casado. Then Chelsea like, we want you, and we want you in London. Wear the blue jersey, and Casado just went there. Not only Casado, they did it with Lafia. So basically, two players that potentially should have gone to Liverpool went to Chelsea instead. And I think this is gonna be the hat trick for Chelsea against Liverpool in the transfer target. let's be honest. As no, and yes, Liverpool won the Premier League. Fair enough. They're gonna be a lot of traction. Liverpool, Anfield fans, they're gonna be one of the challengers for Premier League next season, and then even the Champions League. So you're gonna be trophies. So you're gonna guarantee at least a trophy. But this is Chelsea. Yes, Chelsea have won things as well. Even though I'm an Arsenal fan, I do have to admit they do win trophies regardless. But I think the reason why those two players have chose Chelsea over Liverpool, and I think the reason Hugo might choose Chelsea over Liverpool is the location. Now, no disrespect to Liverpool, but I've been to Liverpool a couple of times. The city centre itself is okay, to be fair, but outside of the city centre, there's nothing at all. There's nothing in Liverpool. I'm sorry, it's just there's nothing there at all compared to London. You can't even compare Liverpool. You can't even compare London to Liverpool to London. It's not even a comparison. Everything is there in London. You know what I mean? So obviously you're gonna enjoy yourself more and everything. And I think he will look into that. Like, look, this is London. Everything is there. I will also like to play in London, especially when you're from France. Let me break it down for you guys, especially for the French players buying players from France. Especially you look at Chelsea, you look at Arsenal. Especially those two. The influence that have influenced French players back in the 2000s and the late 90s and the early 2010s. The likes of Arsenal and Chelsea. Man United will be there as well, but those two specifically, the amount of influence of the French players that play in those clubs, especially Arsenal. The amount of influence they have gained. And then when they grow up, they be like, "Oh, if I become a football player, I want to play for either Arsenal or Chelsea. I want to play for Arsenal because of Thierry Henry, or I want to play for Chelsea because of Drogba and them." That influence as well does play a part, and it shows because a lot of the young players be like, look, I like Liverpool. Liverpool have done their thing, but Chelsea is what I really wanted because I've been eyeing this club since I was a kid, and I think that will play a factor as well. So I won't be surprised if you choose Chelsea over Liverpool, and and I think he will go to Chelsea. I think Chelsea will be more fitted, more suited for him, and I think they're willing. I think they're going to break the bank for him more than Liverpool are because Liverpool are going for Florence Wirtz in Germany, so they're going to break the bank for him already. The question is, would they do it again for the second in a row, which is 50-50? But Chelsea are capable of doing it. And I believe Chelsea will get the guy over Liverpool. Okay, so moving on with the done three strikers. Now we're moving on to the fourth striker. And the fourth striker will be Victor Gyokores. Now, obviously, it's not surprising. This guy's name has been brought up since last year. This guy went from Championship Coventry to Sporting Lisbon, and as we know, the rest is history. He has won trophies back to back seasons, breaking records back to back seasons. He's probably the hottest commodity in the world right now, based on his scoring record, the amount of goals he has scored. However, there is an interest. This guy's an interesting case. There's a lot of things that people might not know about that Klaus do know that we don't know, but I do know. So I will get into that later. But Victor Gyokores is my fourth striker. So this is his profile. So we're going with if he's a striker. Sporting Lisbon, 26 years old, still good age, still got a lot years ahead of him. Swedish. Look at the stats: 52 appearances, 54 goals, and 13 assists in all competitions. Now, Manu in the league in Portugal, he had 33 appearances and 39 goals in the league. I forgot about the amount of assists, but that really didn't matter. It's all about the goals. This guy is a goal machine, scoring left, right, and center. He's not good at headers, but I don't really care about that. He can score with his left, he can score with his right. He just score goals. And his value is 60 million. So which is still a good amount of money for that kind of striker who's been scoring goals. This is where the issue is now. Now, no disrespect to the Portugal's league, not disrespect to the Portugal league because it's very good league. There's a lot of talented players that come there, especially when you play midfielder, defender, or even goalkeeper. They have done well in other leagues, Premier League, for example. But when it comes to the striker, that's where the issue is. The only striker that done well from that league that went somewhere else was Ramadan Falcao, and that was over a decade ago. But since then, the record is not good. I think that's the reason why a lot of top clubs are not touching a striker, are not touching this guy, or want to get this guy because come on now, look at the scoring record, look at the achievements. This guy is scoring goals left, right, and center. This guy is scoring for fun. Why is a lot of clubs, top clubs, are not going for him? But then you look at the history of the strikers coming from that league and going to other leagues are not doing well and completely flop. It kind of scares them. And I don't blame them because the record is not good. Ever since Falcao, it's not been good at all. The notable one is the one Nunes went to Liverpool from Benfica. Liverpool spent like 80 million for him, completely flop. Now, yes, he has won trophies with Liverpool, but it is a team effort. He wasn't the guy who helped them to get those trophies. In fact, he was one of the guys who's gonna ruin it for them. No disrespect to Nunes, but to truth be told, he wasn't the guy that helped them to win the league. Now, sorry, this summer, he more likely to leave to Liverpool because Liverpool need a new striker. You see where I'm going with this. Now, the question is, where is he gonna go? Obviously, he's been linked with nearly all the top clubs in the Premier League: Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United. Now, I said Arsenal was going to get Sesko, which I think they will, so I will move them. Um, you know what? Let me go to the destination. I come to that. So my destination for Victor Gyokores will be Liverpool or Manchester United. Now, back to what I was saying. So those four clubs, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, they're all interested in him. Arsenal, as much they need a striker, and I feel he might maybe 50-50, but I think they all want physical guy instead. So I'm gonna remove them out of the list. Chelsea, they're also in the list as well, but I think they want someone younger as well. So I'm gonna remove them from the list. I think they're gonna go for Hugo instead. Now we're down to two, Liverpool or Manchester United. Now I did say Liverpool just signed Duane Nunes from Benfica and things didn't work out. Nunes is not the kind of striker that Slot likes. We can tell he's not the kind of striker he likes. He wants someone who can actually finish and who can do all the dirty works and everything. I don't think Nunes is that kind of striker that Slot's like or need. So obviously he wants a goal scorer, and Gyokores is a goal scorer. The first question is, can he, succeed in the league? People have said he has played in England. He played for Coventry Championship, which is one of the hardest league in the world. Which is, truth be told, it is true. So he is kind of familiar to the way the English style of play, like physical, off the edges, get in there and all that. So I think he will suit in Liverpool. I think he will suit in Liverpool, to be honest. I think he will suit more in Liverpool than Nunes, in my opinion, and the kind of manager Slot is than his club. So I think he will be more suited with Liverpool. But then there's another option, which is Manchester United. Now, depending on Bruno Fernandes, yes, Manchester United finished 17th, and obviously they're going to be short of cash. So if they have to make a big sell, which is potentially Bruno Fernandes, they will have to use that money to get a striker. They got Kunta from Wolverhampton, and now I'm hearing they're going to get Wembo from Brentford. So that's like over 100 million like that gone. So now they need another 100 million to sign other players. So they have to sell potentially Bruno Fernandes to recoup that money. And if they do need a striker, and he's going to be that guy. And also, he played for Sporting Lisbon, who is the manager for Manchester United right now, Ruben Amorim, Sporting Lisbon. So they know each other, and obviously he will be, the first in the list target. So if Manchester United can sell Bruno Fernandes potentially, then yeah, I feel he will go to Manchester United. And I think he wants to reunite with Ruben Amorim because obviously Ruben understand him and Gyökeres understand Ruben. So it would be a perfect marriage 2.0. So if they can sell Bruno as soon as possible, then I believe he can go to Manchester United. And lastly, we're going to number five, the fifth final player that I've it's going to be in huge demand. Ollie Watkins, hear me out. Yes, people might say, Ollie Watkins, why Ollie Watkins? Hear me out. He had an okay season. I think it's just his typical season, in Aston Villa. Um, so he has scored a huge amount of goals. He's a very good striker, under the radar striker in the Premier League, to be honest, for the past few seasons. Things hasn't, this season just been, up and down, especially with Emre. He's not giving him the starting lineup, when they signed Rashford, he's been on the bench. And also with Duran situation, but they sold Duran and Saudi Arabia back in January. But Ollie Watkins, I think he feels that he needs to go somewhere else if he wants a big contract and get more recognition. He needs to leave Aston Villa, so his name will be out there. So this is profile. Currently play for Aston Villa, 29 years old. He's going to be 30 in December. Currently in the England national team, 54 appearances, 17 goals, 14 assists in all competitions, double double, which is good. Value 30 million, which is not bad. So I know people will be questioning, oh, because he's too old. It don't really matter if he's too old. If he's still got it, he still got it. No, I feel he's still a valuable asset for a top club in England in the Premier League. There's good few clubs that need this kind of striker, Ollie Watkins. So he's not a scrub. So let's cut that out. I think the problem with Ollie Watkins at times is consistency. At times he should have scored, but he doesn't. He missed a lot of big chances, to be fair. I'm a big fan of Ollie Watkins, I do, and I do think he's a very good finisher at times. But at the same time, he can be inconsistent. I think that's what kind of put him down a little bit down on the radar. But nonetheless, in the top club, if you do need a striker who might give you 10 to 15 games a season, he's that guy. I think he can give you those goals as well. If you got better players around him, I think he can give you more than his usual 16 to 15 goals. I think the season before was like 19 to 20 goals. I think he scored last season. The season before this one. So he's capable of scoring more goals. Unfortunately, this season things didn't see eye to eye with Emery for obvious reasons, but he's capable of scoring at least 20 goals or even more with a better team. So he is a very good player for this amount of money. So my destination where I think Ollie Watkins will go is Arsenal. Hear me out. Now, I do believe Arsenal are going to sign Cisco. But if Arsenal, I think, to be honest, Arsenal do need a backup striker. I don't care what anyone says. They do need a backup striker. I don't think Havertz is not a striker. You can't rely on Marino. He's not a striker by nature. So what else? Jesus is injured till December, November time. So you do need a backup striker, and Ollie Watkins is that guy who can be a backup striker for Arsenal. Now he can also contest with Cisco as well. If Cisco is not performing, at expectation, maybe it's going to take him time to get used to the league. Then you can bring Ollie Watkins to the front line because he's always Premier League proven. He has scored goal, been there, done that, so he knows how the league operates. So you can use them until Cisco is actually fully ready to take over that number one spot in the striker, the front line for Arsenal. Ollie Watkins is an Arsenal fan. This is no hidden streak. We all know he's an Arsenal fan. He does need to move to a big club or a club that will literally play him most of the time because it is World Cup season, and every player will be like, I need to go to a club that's going to play me week in and week out. Unfortunately, with Duran gone and Duran gone, the young striker they sold in January, Emirates going to go for a striker on their own. They want a younger striker that's going to last them for years. Ollie Walker is going to be 30 by December. So obviously he's going to be a short term. So they're looking for strikers, young strikers for long term. So are they going to play Ollie Watkins week in, week out? Which is the answer is going to be no, to be honest. Emery have shown that. So he's going to go for young, talented strikers. for this upcoming window. So all the workers be like, I need to go somewhere that's gonna give me at least a chance to play in and week chance, good amount of chance, so I can be in that World Cup team. I can be in the England team for the World Cup for next year. It's World Cup season, lad. So players will be thinking like, I need to go to a club that I need to play week in, week out. So Arsenal is gonna be that club, like I just said, he's going to compete with Cisco potentially, and I feel he will get a good amount of starts just to get his feet wet, and also for Cisco because he's going to take the Cisco time to get used to it. So I do believe Arsenal is going to be suited, and they did go for him in January, but for some reason things didn't work out. Aston Villa wants 60 million. Arsenal was offering 40. I think Arsenal will come back again and maybe get 30, just less than 40 million, less than 40 million. I think they will get a cheaper rate now for Ollie Watkins because now it looks like he's more desperate to leave. He was desperate to leave in January, but he's definitely desperate to leave this summer. The way things have handled, the way Emery has handled him this season just gone. So I think he definitely wants to leave. So yeah, I believe Arsenal is the right place for him to go, and I believe Arsenal should go for him if they need a backup striker, which they should, to be honest. So I do see this as a transfer that might potentially happen. Now, those five players are out of the way. I'm also going to mention honorable mentions that I feel strikers are going to leave as well. Also, keep a good eye on based on circumstances and situations. I only got three players to be honest, but there may be more. But I only got three so far to be honest. Nicholas Jackson. Now, this is going to be an interesting one because Nicholas Jackson tenure in Chelsea has been underwhelming at times. At one point, you feel like okay, maybe he can be that striker that Chelsea need. Unfortunately, it's just not been working out and very inconsistent. Um, Sometimes he doesn't concentrate. He doesn't concentrate at all. Honestly, Nicholas Jackson. He does have pace. He does have pace, but I think that's the only thing he has only good at. His finishing is not that great either, to be honest. It's a shame because he does have the fundamental tools, but at times when you take it to the next level, he just won't. He's just not it. That guy. He's not that guy. I don't think can elevate Chelsea. Chelsea just signed Liam Delap, who scored 12 goals for Ipswich. So now it'd be a competition. And I said that Chelsea were going to go for Hugo. So they got two new strikers now. Jackson will be down in the pecking order. So he would be the first striker. And I don't think he wants to play third fickle. So now he'd be like, I need to go somewhere else. If you guys, and I think Chelsea themselves want to part ways with Nicholas Jackson. Maybe not permanent, maybe on the loan, but if they can get good off of, they're more likely sell him for a good amount. Would they make a profit? Potentially, but it's 50-50 on that one. But my destination for where Nicholas Jackson was going to go is going to be very interesting. I say Juventus or Aston Villa. Now, let me start with Juventus. Juventus do need a striker. It's been a very underwhelming season in Serie A for Juventus. They are currently looking for strikers. Vlahovic, unfortunately, just didn't live up to standard, and they ended up getting Wonder from PSG, and he done okay for a short period of time. And they will need that kind of player, and Jackson is that kind of player: flexible, agility, speed, pace, decent finishing. So more mobile than Vlahovic. So I think Juventus will want that kind of striker. Nicholas Jackson will definitely fit. Now, in terms of money, that's where the issue is because Serie A, no disrespect to most of your team are broke. We all know that. They don't have that money. Juventus don't have that money to spend on a lot of players, so they might likely want to get a loan with obligation to buy or loan with a buy option. It's going to be a loan option with Juventus. Now, Aston Villa is going to be another interesting because Unai Emery was the guy, the manager that gave Nicholas Jackson his first team debut in Villa well, and he had positive things to say about Nicholas Jackson, and Nicholas Jackson had positive things to say about Emery. So I feel Emery will be like, look, I need young strikers that's going to elevate us for the years to come. Now he knows Nicholas Jackson year in and year out in Villa well, and I feel he might be the manager to get the best out of to get the best out of Jackson. And I think he might consider going to Villa, and maybe he wants to stay in the Premier League potentially. And I feel it will be that club. Villa, I think there's only Villa I can see because of Emery. If not, it's going to be outside of the Premier League, and I see Juventus more likely. Rumors Holland, yeah, it's been a bad signing for Manchester United. Very, very bad signing. I know he's young, he's still got a lot of years ahead of him, but this is just a bad signing from the start. Spend a lot of money for him. It wasn't going to work from the get go, and they're going to make a loss, so they have to take their loss. There's clubs coming for him, especially in Serie A. That's where he definitely made a name for himself, and I feel the league he needs to go back to, regain form. I don't see him in anywhere else. I don't see him in the Bundesliga. I don't see him in La Liga. It's only Serie A because he's used to it. That's the league that made his name, and it's more likely to, go back. Man United did cut the losses with him. Unfortunately, he's not going to be that guy. And the destination I think he's going to go to is Napoli. Now, I'm being hearing rumors about Inter Milan, potentially Inter Milan, but they already got Martinez and Thuram. Yes, they do play the 5-3-2. No, sorry, the 3-5-2 formation. Yeah, yeah, 5-3-2 formation. So obviously they got two strikers, so he could be in Inter Milan. But I think Napoli will be more suited. Lukaku, he did his thing, but I feel Napoli will look for more younger striker going forward. Holland has done well in Serie A with Atalanta before he moved to Man United. And I think Conte will get the best out of him, will walk him like a dog. He will walk his ass off in training. Look what he's done with McTominay and other players that came from the Premier League. He has turned them to household names in Europe. And if he can do that with Holland, would be the best thing for Napoli since sliced bread, potentially. But you get the gist. I think Napoli will be the best suited for him more than Inter Milan. In all honesty, I think Inter Milan already cube. Even though yes, they will need a striker, but I don't think I don't think it will be more suited for. I don't think it will be more. I don't think it will be suited for him, Holland. I don't think Holland will suit Inter because I think the competition will be very high. They already got Wham and Martinez, and they also got the other guy, striker as well. So it's going to be a little bit tougher competition than he is in Napoli because I think Napoli do need a backup striker or striker that can compete with Lukaku, and I feel he will be more suited with Napoli than Inter. And lastly, Jean-Philippe Mateta. Everyone knows this guy. You know, been a revelation in Crystal Palace ever since Glasgow came to Crystal Palace, took over from Brendan Rod no, not Brendan Rodgers. I forgot the manager's name. I do apologize, but you get the gist. He came out, took over. Ward Hodgson, yeah, Ward Hodgson. Next we know, turn Martella to mediocre to a beast for 2 seasons, for season and a half, basically. He has turned this guy to a beast. I don't know what he has done in training, but he has worked out and it paid off. Last season just gone, did his thing again. Scored over, I think he scored like 17 goals, 15 goals, 15 to 17 goals in the Premier League. He also helped Crystal Palace win the FA Cup. So in the Europa League. The interesting part now, he has 1 year left in his contract. Um, I don't think he's gonna sign it because he knows that there's demand is there for him, and I think he wants to go to bigger, better things. My destination will be Manchester United or Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa, I did say they want young strikers. I did that, but I won't be surprised if Aston Villa be like, "Look, I like you, Ollie Watkins, but we do need a guy who will be consistent." This is the problem: consistency. Felipe Mateta got consistency over Ollie Watkins, truth be told. I think that's the reason why they will more likely want to get him. But if it's not as a Villa, it's going to be Manchester United. And I think Manchester United might have a good chance because if they can't afford Gyokores or even other strikers, like for example, Osimhen, for example. If they can afford them, then they can get Mateta for a cheaper price, maybe for like between 20 to 30 million. He does what has 1 year left in his contract, so it's not going to cost that much. And Man United do need a striker because obviously Holland is going to be shipped off to somewhere else. And I feel Manchester United would be a good fit for him. He'd be a long striker. You got the two tens beside him, so be feeding him the ball and everything. Yeah, it would be a very interesting yeah, interesting signing for Manchester United. I think that could be something to look up to. If they can't get Gyokores as the first target, I think Mateta will be the second option, in my personal opinion. If not Man United, then it could be maybe Aston Villa. That's the only club I can see that needs a striker. So those are my honorable mentions. But anyway, those is the video done. I know it's a very long video, but I just want to get those things out of the way. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you like what you see. And if you enjoyed the video, please press like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and let me know what you think of who do you think is going to sign who, which striker is going to go there, which striker is going to go, which strikers you think your club is going to sign. Yeah, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.